What would it take for you to be well? Maybe working through a past hurt, resolving a conflict, setting a goal, and achieving it. Whatever your need may be, Acadia Counseling and Wellness in Berlin wants to meet it.
Diane Brissy opened the practice a few years ago, and Diane believes that everyone has the inner desire to grow through healing, learning, and building strong connections. So how about we learn more now with Delmarva Life's Katie Zarrilli.
The word Acadia means idyllic place. It's actually the name of the national park in the state where I come from, Maine. And it's also the name of this counseling and wellness center in Berlin. And when you go inside, you'll see why.
So a couple years ago, I had actually gone up to Acadia National Park on a trip. And it's just the most beautiful, serene place that I was like, I can't think of a better name because of just sort of what that represents in my mind, which is just sort of peaceful and relaxing and healing and yeah.
And that's how Diane Brissy wants clients coming into this building to feel. She's desired to heal hearts since she was young.
I think what originally got me interested in it is I remember I was in high school and I was riding on the bus one day, and one of the people that lives down my street, and she hadn't lived there very long, got on. And I overheard a conversation where she was talking about feeling suicidal. And something hit me in that moment, and I just kind of had this thought that, like, nobody should ever feel that way. That's crazy. It was so foreign to me. And that's what got me into psychology. And then I just sort of graduated over to social work as I sort of found out what the difference was and really wanting to do the treatment piece and working with people.
Diane counseled through a number of different avenues before opening this place up in 2018. Her hope is to treat the whole person, not just through counseling, but also massage therapy, yoga, and other creative opportunities.
We try to just incorporate so many different types of services that you don't get at a regular counseling center. And you can do it all here.
They're serious about meeting needs.
One of the things that we really try to do is we make the center as welcoming as we possibly can through our decor. You know, we have a coffee bar, we have snacks, and so we try to make it so that they're coming in and it just feels comfortable. It feels like walking into a yoga studio or a day spa, or so you walk in and you feel like, this is something I'm doing for me. The other thing that we always talk to our clients about the first session is that if you're meeting with a therapist here and you don't feel comfortable with that person, you can see a different therapist, because a lot of it really is that connection, and some people you connect with and some people you don't.
Diane says they're also just starting group therapy, which can be big time beneficial for folks.
I think a piece of it is how it normalizes everything. So it's not you suffering by yourself. It's kind of like, well, wait a minute, I'm not the only one that feels this way. And then you also kind of learn from each other, like what they do that helps. So you get even more than just one therapist's view of, try this. Now you're getting maybe 5 or 6 or 7 people's idea of things they've tried, and then you pick what you think works for you.
Folks coming in can take one, all, or a few of the options offered. Diane knows that sometimes there's hesitancy when it comes to counseling.
I think part of it is feeling like they can do it on their own. Like it's a weakness to say, hey, I need to go and see somebody. So I think that's a big piece of it. Other times, sometimes it's people in their family who they don't approve. I have seen women whose husbands are against counseling. I've seen kids whose parents don't support counseling. So sometimes it's just the stigma around it.
But for those who bust through those barriers, life change really happens.
What keeps me doing it is really just seeing the change in people. When I have people come in and I'll see them the first time and they talk about themselves as if there's something wrong with them. They're like, I have anxiety, or I'm just an anxious person. So it's really kind of like exploring, like, well, where did you ever get that idea from? How do you, what makes you an anxious person versus you have anxiety sometimes? And that is something that you have control over and can get rid of. So when I kind of watch them go through that process and they define themselves differently and they start to take on challenges that they wouldn't normally do, that's what keeps me doing it.
She even published a workbook, Living a Life You Love, that can help folks manage the many aspects of life.
It's really for anybody, because like I said, it sort of looks at all the different areas of everyone's lives and just really helps you pinpoint where you're doing your best and where maybe you're struggling a little bit. And then it's up to you to decide which ones you're going to work on. It's about kind of just being more aware and more intentional in what you do, which is really a big piece, I feel like, of what I do in therapy as well. It's sort of getting people a little more intentional about how they go through their life and what they do day to day, because we get stuck and kind of live by default.
And so, whether it's through counseling or classes, inside these safe walls lies the chance to leave the comfort zone and make life better.
Everybody that comes in, I think, has made a comment about just how good it feels when they walk in. I had somebody that came in probably maybe 2 or 3 months ago, and they were saying that the counseling office they went to before, they kind of sat in front of like a cinder block wall. You know, it's one of those things where everything's like screwed to the wall, and, you know, the chairs are screwed to the floor, and that when you come in here, it's just very welcoming. You can just sort of walk in and kind of have this little like, I think that sets you up to be in a good place.
And Acadia Counseling and Wellness is accepting new clients, and the best way to get in touch with them is by phone or through their website. Jim and Lisa?
Acadia Counseling and Wellness has their class and workshop schedule on their website, and if you like, you can find a link, of course, as always, on delmarvalife.com.